I don't own guns because I want to hunt animals. I own guns because I may have to defend my life. And when I do, I want the absolute best that I can personally afford.
You want to debate?
Gun control.
Yeah, the
All
gun
right.
control.
I like it. I like gun control as a topic. Kell, what is your position on what is your actual position on gun control?
I would say Weevil has to make the affirmative because Weevil, are you not arguing that like good guns in America are good? Is that like the basic debate prompt? Like,
yeah, I believe they are good. It's on our amendment. It's one of our rights.
Yeah, okay. We can go with yeah. We have it. I mean, I personally would define
That's why
it as,
we have restrictions on it, because you know, if you're the right person to bear arms, you have the right to bear arms. That's why they have so many restrictions. If you go and buy a gun,
all right, hold on. Let's do that. Let me get the timer set and let's do this right.
Okay.
Even though, wow.
And just FYI, this is my first like one-on-one debate, so you know, if
that's awesome.
or whatever, then it's okay.
V-card chat. We're taking your V card. Let's go, Weevil. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you a bitch. I get a little overzealous.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I totally understand.
Actually think you're a bitch.
She's
I never said anything bad to you. Why are you calling me a bitch?
I know. I know where I said that. I always refer to my like tactic. Terrible.
It's just Kell. It's okay. It's not a big deal.
No, it's not just Kell. That's immature, not good like opponent.
Not good Kell. Bad Kell.
Not good Kell. You don't say not good Kell. It's not good opponent behavior. You can criticize
not
behavior.
We have good Kell and not good Kell, and that was not good Kell. Bad Kell.
When I'm acting like a righty, I'm the good Kell. When I'm acting like a lefty.
Well, yeah, when you're cursing people for no reason, that's bad.
No,
bad
no. But that's not part of the lefty.
All right, so since we'll give Weevil the affirmative that we do not need more gun control, and everything is, you know, not fine the way it is, but we don't need any further gun control. Kell, you will be defending the fact that you think there should be gun control. Okay, and we'll let Weevil start. You have 1 minute to make your case, and just start talking when you're ready. If you need a minute, that's fine.
All right. Well, I don't have anything written down. I just kind of came up here really fast.
That's okay. This is a very fast thing.
All right. Well, I don't believe that we need any more gun control, because from what I've witnessed personally, from when I go buy a gun, they do a background check right in front of you. I've seen people denied. I've seen people approved. I've never been denied because I don't have any felonies. I don't have any criminal background that defines me of not buying a gun. But people are going to get guns no matter how they want to in America. They can buy guns illegally. They can buy ammo illegally. You know, it's the right people that they need knowledge. They need the proper educational background of guns. Like I was taught by my father and my brothers about guns. I was even taught more about my husband because I didn't have a lot of knowledge until, you know, I was later in life. I didn't really shoot guns until I was probably 16 years old. But gun control, people are going to get guns no matter what. And the gun control that there is now, when you go in to go buy a gun, they take the proper steps.
That's your minute. All right, Kell, you ready?
Yeah.
When you're ready, just start talking.
All right. You opened your statement with like there should be no more gun control. I think we can see why Sandy Hook and several other examples. Okay, why more gun control is completely necessitated. I don't know if you guys have been like targeted with the same YouTube ads. It's more like yeah, of course people are gonna get guns, whatever. I think we can see that through like prohibition. I don't think that guns should be completely like exterminated from our ecosystem, because people will find a way to get them wherever they are. You say that, oh great, your dad taught you. We expect everyone to have the same family knowledge and education. Of course, that doesn't happen in California, in Florida, and wherever the fuck like you may be. It might happen in Kansas or wherever you were raised, but they've got good gun restrictions. I think we see by like the multiple school shootings that have happened throughout the past couple years that we need better gun restriction. We need more mental health screenings because people can fake identities all the time. Like there's been multiple examples, but I rest my minute.
Okay. All right. We get 5 minutes on the clock, and this is our back and forth segment. So you guys have fun. Just one of you start talking when you're ready.
Well, I believe, yes, the school shootings are tragedies. They really are. But I don't believe that they are caused by the guns. I believe it's caused by the lack of, control that the children have in the education of the gun usage.
So I guess my pushback would be to that. It's like it's the same thing with homeschooling. It's like we're expecting parents to have a level of education to their kids, which ideally, of course, they would. If you have guns in the home, you would expect that. But I'm like, not exactly what we talked about earlier, how not everyone's going to have that same supervision in other people's homes. We would expect kids to not have to deal with guns. Like, it's very simple. Like, we wouldn't expect like kids to have the gun education. We'd expect other people to not have guns accessible to kids. Like,
well, yeah, I understand that. And it does come down to the mental health as well, because a lot of these school shootings does come down to the mental health. It is people that have journals written down. They have a plan. It's scripted to when they're going to do it and how they're going to do it. It is the mental health. But you can't control that. Anywhere you go, it's going to happen. Sadly, it's going to happen, mental health or not. But guns, I think that if we take our time out to teach our children, the people that have children and the people that have the parents, if we teach more of that than just, taking the gun and hiding it and never showing it to the children. Like, we have this in the house for protection, but I'm not going to show my child because I'm scared that they're going to do something with it. If we take our time out to educate our children, it's going to lessen the outcome of these tragedies. And yeah, you're saying not everybody has that.
Just not have like guns in homes rather than like counting on like the mental health stability of children, right? So it's like, obviously, like, if I agree with you.
Okay, if it comes to the mental health, then it's a lot more tragic than just having a gun in your house. If you're having mental health issues
all these
with
kids
children,
with mental health issues didn't have access to guns. Sorry, I'll let you finish. Like, but imagine if you say
if you're in a house with a mentally ill child, then you are going to hide that gun, correct? Then you're going to hide.
How do I know my child's that mentally ill until the shooting happens? Like, most of these parents,
there's signs, there's journals, there's people. If they actually look after their children, if they're actually
that's an argument about like whether or not we should like draw lines between parenting or not. It's like it's kind of a, it's like it's a moot point where it's like, are you reading through your kids' journals all the time? Of course not, because your child like is entitled to privacy in their own right, right? So it's like that's not like a gun debate at that point.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Of course, you should monitor what your children are doing.
Me personally, I'm gonna look through my kids' shit. I'm gonna look through their stuff.
But are they like entitled to a level of?
Yeah, they're gonna have privacy. They're gonna have privacy.
How? If you're reading through their journal to make sure they're not like writing a manifesto, how are they supposed to have privacy? Like, a journal's supposed to be a private spot. Like, so I don't understand how you can have gun control without like expecting kids to,
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna look through my kid's shit. I'm gonna look through their shit. And honestly, if you love your child,
until they're 18,
if you have a good relationship with your child, you're gonna
I had a good relationship with my parents up until I turned 18, but they still never read through my journals because that's a private space for you to vent your feelings.
My parents looked through my shit. I didn't care.
Through my shit, yeah.
I wasn't mentally ill.
I wasn't mentally ill without looking through my journal. Like, my journal is like my private space to vent my feelings. Like, that's insane. Like,
okay, well, not everybody had the good relationship where you can actually tell those feelings to your parents. Like, personally, I could tell my parents.
Exactly, and I think that's part of the problem is that people should be able to go to
their parents. And those people should probably be looked at a little bit more. Honestly,
no, because they can't go to their parents. Why is it that person's
or anybody? If you're talking, you're talking to your friends, correct? Anyway, this is getting away from the gun. This is getting away from the gun. This is going to mental.
Like, someone should be like looked at more because their parents.
Okay, well, this is getting away from the gun. This is all about mental, right?
Completely disingenuous. Your parents might have read your journal and just didn't tell you. Sure.
I can barely hear you. Please get closer to the mic.
You really think that people should like reevaluate their parenting if they're not reading through their kids' journals? You think that's like a fair standard to set across the board?
You wouldn't need to read through their journals if you have a trusting relationship. If you actually know your child,
you can trust your kid all you want. They can still shoot up a school. What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't feel
You
it.
can't 100%. Like, people can be hiding shit that you don't even know, but you wouldn't read through their journal to find out. Because if you trust your kid, you wouldn't be reading through their journal. But I'm like, even if you trust me to the millionth degree, like, I was a good kid to like all like areas of respect, like to my parents or whatever. But if they read through my journal, I'd be toast. It's like they wouldn't do that because it's like a breach of boundaries with your kid at the end of the
But
day.
what you're saying, it sounds like you would be a type of person that would do such thing. You're
Well,
putting
who
yourself in a
knows? Who
category.
knows? We're talking about the rule, not the exception, right? So we should look at the rule, not the exception. Like, I am the exception, obviously. So I hate to like rely on personal anecdote, but I think it sounds a little bit ridiculous to expect parents to like monitor their kids based on reading their journal. I think that is completely ridiculous. And you might have just lost because you made that argument. I might have been on the losing side of the argument with that, but because you're like, oh, we should read our kids' journals to figure out what's going on with them, you might have just lost.
And what's wrong with that? What's the difference between reading a journal and then going through somebody's phone? Parents go through children's phones all the time.
I agreed. I was like, you can't go through my phone anytime.
I'm really tempted to let this keep going, but that's time. Tyler had a domestic issue, and he will be back momentarily. In the meantime, let's have our Anson, our cultural appropriations judge, go ahead and see what he says about this.
Yeah, this was really hard to listen to. Right. So Weevil, you tried to make points about how there are current restrictions and they're reasonable, and in your opening you talked about like background checks and the fact that no amount of restrictions will stop criminals from getting guns, and then you started talking about how there's an actual knowledge gap that the government really can't address because it's more of a social issue where the family has responsibility for the behavior of their children, and it's not something that can be taken care of by the government. You didn't really articulate it very well, but I think that's what your point was. Mm-hmm. And Kel, you did the emotional plea, which is usually what the liberals do. You talked about Sandy Hook because that's like the soundbite that's in the liberal ethos. And in your opening, you also mentioned how not everybody has good parents. So of course your prescription is the government needs to fill in the gap because the government is your daddy. Y'all both kind of stuck to your openings in your arguments, and you addressed your points that you made, and I was really happy to see that. But as the judge, I'm going to say that y'all are debating so bad that it's going to be contempt of court, and I find you both guilty of being terrible debaters.
It was my first time, so I was trying to get it all together. I came on here so quick with the gun topic, so
it's her first debate, so she has a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, well, she
you know
won.
I know I fell flat on my face.
So I'm gonna say my points are 10 points for Weevil and 5 points for Kel. Kel, that was an awful debate. That's the lowest score I can score you.
I know. Thank you.
You won, Weevil.
Judge.
Thank you. I didn't feel like I won that at all. I felt like I fell flat on my face.
Just calm down.
That's fair. Weevil had 3 really good points that she brought up in her opening, and she fleshed them out for the most part really well. Kinetic Kel had 2 really good points in hers, and she made a pretty good attempt to flesh them out. I think there's a little bit of bias within certain groups that would say that like her arguments weren't good or were or whatever, but they were fair. Throughout the debate, I liked how Weevil brought it back to gun control, even though it kind of ventured off topic. So she was controlling the conversation more, which whenever you're trying to have a debate, it's really important to keep people on the topic you're talking about and not let them get too far off and try and obfuscate shit and bullshit, especially when you're on a speed debate and you have limited time. So I thought that was a really good thing for her to do, to try and bring it back to combat the issue itself. Altogether, I had 8 points for Weevil and I had 6 points for Kel. Kel did pretty good for her side, but just could have stepped it up a couple of hairs to show a little bit more strength, a little bit more command of the argument, and a little bit more control.
Membership to the Continental has been by thine own hand revoked.